Shortly after Parliament meets, probably within weeks, the Liberal government will bring down the... After all, from his point of view, if his intention is to bring down the government, why wait until you've lost 3 by-elections, which he almost certainly can't win, and that'll give at least some signal of perhaps momentum for the Liberal Party, such as it is if they win the 2 or 3 most people expect they will. Shortly after Parliament meets, probably within weeks, the Liberal government will bring down the beginning of his campaign, and the Liberal leader was responding to that today.
Quite apparent that nothing is going to come out in those committee hearings, and I think everybody who's followed them knows that.
Shortly after Parliament meets, probably within weeks, the Liberal government will bring down the.
In the case of the Liberal Party's willingness, I think that's a good question. I think the problem we're at is that it could be the case that the Liberal Party could change its mind yet again. I mean, Mr. Ignatius said bring on an election about a week ago. They could change their mind yet again, but as we look at the fall agenda, it looks more and more likely that while they may well change their mind on an election, they're not likely to change their mind on any of the government's actual program, that they're likely to continue to oppose all of our programs. I think what has changed qualitatively, as I have reflected on things over the past few weeks, is that Mr. Dion, by laying down his program, his alternative, has now in fact made it impossible for himself and his party to work with the government or to find any common ground with the government. And so
shortly after Parliament meets, probably within weeks, the Liberal government will bring down the...
Continue with Ben O'Hara-Byrne, Global TV.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister. I was on that very same topic. You've watched him at work a few years. I was wondering, given the last few weeks, what you think Mr. Dion's strengths and weaknesses are as a political opponent.
Oh, well, I've said repeatedly, I retired from punditry 7 years ago. So I'm not a pundit. I'm not an analyst. That's a decision that you will have to make, and that the people of Canada will have to make. And I don't think you obviously would expect my answers to that question to be very objective.
Continue with Paul Wells and Maclean's.
Prime Minister, your analysis of the shifting waters of electoral circumstance over the last few weeks has been quite interesting, but you passed a law on this. I read the law. It's called C-16, Canada Elections Act, Amendment, Fixed Election Dates. It doesn't say fixed election dates unless Stéphane Dion is mean to me. What did that law mean when you campaigned on it and passed it?
Well, as we said, when we passed the law, the purpose of a fixed election date is to create certainty. Obviously, in a minority parliament, you can't be certain. I've been clear on that all along. Fact of the matter now, Paul, is that all the opposition parties are clear. They will not support this government going to October in 2009. In the lack of certainty about an election date, it falls back to the government to create that.
Well, first, did you see how media-friendly the Prime Minister was today, taking any number of questions reporters could throw at him? Does that presage anything? The Prime Minister wants this election on his timing, not on the opposition party's timings. He's quite right to say that the other parties will force him into an election. The Liberals are telling me, senior Liberals, that that's exactly what they're going to do. But the Prime Minister wants the election when he decides it should happen. Why wouldn't he? However, if he doesn't do that, I think that shortly after Parliament meets, probably within weeks, the Liberal government will bring down the Liberal Party will bring down the government. Liberals are saying that their days of supporting government policy are over, that they intend to defeat the government on their timing within probably a month of Parliament's return. It makes a lot of sense from his point of view that he would want to avoid by-elections in which he may lose, four ridings. That would give an impression of impetus, momentum to the opposition parties, which he does not want them to have.